so that it's recording. I'm starting now. So if it doesn't work, that's okay. Okay, I want to get going. So first of all, I'm so excited all of you are here. I just jumped off a call with Bob. So feeling super just, I don't know, inspired, of course, every time I'm on a call with Bob, which is amazing. So we're going to be diving into purpose, vision, and goals. And most importantly, as we dive into this, it's important that you understand that your purpose should not be rushed. Bob always says that. Your purpose, you don't want to be in a hurry because if you're in a hurry, it's usually not real. You're usually going kind of sideways. And your purpose is what gets you out of bed in the morning. And so if you're having a hard time getting out of bed in the morning, I remember a few years ago thinking that, right? It was like I didn't want to get out of bed. It's because I didn't have a burning desire. You have to have a burning desire. You have to have something much bigger than yourself that you want. Um, and that's going to get you out of bed in the morning. So your purpose really is your reason for living. And I always think of all my training with Tony Robbins because I spent many years with Tony. Tony's always like, the purpose of living is giving. So the deeper we go into our purpose, we're gonna discover that it's usually around giving, whatever that is. Okay. So we want to spend some time on purpose. We don't want to rush it. It's something that we discover. And I think sometimes we're in a hurry, right? We're like, well, what's my purpose? And how do you discover your purpose is you've got to get your mind really calm and quiet because there's so much outside noise. And you've all been learning about paradigms. I mean, we are genetically and environmentally programmed, so those paradigms are going to get in the way. And how do you know a paradigm's getting in the way? Well, the paradigm sounds like this. Who do you think you are? You can't do this. It's never been done before. That's too hard. I can't do this. I'm not supported. That's what the paradigm sounds like. The paradigm is negative. The paradigm is going to constantly try to trip you up. And I always reflect when I'm thinking of my purpose. I always ask myself two questions, like, is this spirit or is this ego? Because the paradigm sometimes will try to get in there. So you want to make sure, of course, that it's connected to spirit. And I believe that everybody has a purpose. You are important. You being here on this planet, and by the way, at this time especially, is really, really important. So you have a purpose and you want to start connecting to that purpose, but you've got to get your mind really quiet every day and you don't want to rush it. Bob would say it can take, many, many, many months to just even start connecting to your purpose. Because again, paradigms are very strong. So you want to get that study, you want to get that knowledge so that you can it's the way I look at it is like peeling an onion. I've been meeting up with lots of people after the master class, and there's a lot of old hurt and trauma and loss and failure. It's really hard to discover your purpose when what you're focused on is all that, I just call it crap. It gets in the way. Has anybody experienced that? I mean, I've experienced that, right? So, you know, um, you've got to peel the onion. You've got to start doing some investigating. One practice that will help you that I want to share here is all the stuff that's getting in the way. I just call it crap. Start writing it out. Just start like anything that comes up, just start writing that out, all that negativity. And then my suggestion is rip it up, burn it, thank it, be grateful it got you to where you are. But you want to live on purpose. And if you keep entertaining and focusing on all that past, all the crap, all the past failures and the hurt, you will not be able to move forward towards your purpose. Now, Bob always says, he says there's two important days in your life. There's the day that you were born. Yay, you were born. I mean, your chances of even being here is like ridiculous. It's like one in a 100 trillionth or something. And the day that you discover your purpose, and there's a difference I wanted to share with you on this call. There's a difference between your purpose and your work. Bob would say, well, your work is what pays the bills. You know, you get up and it pays your bills. Your purpose is what makes you jump out of bed in the morning. Now, some people are really fortunate. I'm actually one of those people that's really fortunate to, you know, to do what my purpose is and that it's my work. Because my purpose, just let Sherry in, my purpose is to help people, but of course to do my work and then to help as many people as I can on this planet. And I'm so fortunate I get to do that through this material and other material that I've studied. But we want to, Bob would suggest that we keep that separate because, you know, for instance, I was talking to my son who's a thinking into results student. He's only 13. And his purpose, he really believes, is to be one of the world's longest, it's called long endurance racer. He just anything with motors, he's like my husband, he's just like, just loves it, okay? But he knows that that's his purpose and his work. He's going to have many jobs. Like he's working at the shop and he's doing other things. Do you see there's like a difference? So our work pays for our bills. Our purpose makes us get out of bed in the morning. And some of us are fortunate if we can do both. And I don't want to go too much into that, but I want you just to be aware of that. Now, if you wake up loving what you do, then you're on purpose. If you are going to a job, though, that you absolutely hate, you will end up sick because it's lack of ease, right? That's disease. So I don't know if you knew this, but this is a stat that most people in the United States, 80% of US citizens go to work hating their job and at the same time praying that they don't get fired. And I share this because I want you to reflect on yourself. Do you like your job? Because if you don't, it will long term, it's going to make you sick. So you might want to do something else that you like. And Bob would suggest it's really great if your job can be related to your purpose. He was just talking about that on the call. He was talking about, multiple streams of income. And the gal had asked, it was a question, if the multiple streams of income that you're working with, if they should be related to your purpose and what you love. And he said, absolutely. He said he used to like go into everything, right? It could have been like car parts. Bob was like entertaining it. And yet that was totally not what his purpose is. It had nothing to do with his purpose. So he now says no to a lot of things. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you because I thought that was really good. So without a purpose, because having a purpose is so important. Without a purpose, you're like a boat without a rudder. And if you take a canoe or a kayak out that doesn't have a rudder, it just goes in circles. You don't even know where you're going. It's actually horrible because I've done that a few times. So you want to have that purpose, that direction. Now, in order to discover your purpose, one thing that I want to suggest that you do, because remember, it can take some time. For some people, like Bob says, you can spend your whole life discovering your purpose and you don't want to rush it. You want to spend time, especially first thing when you wake up and maybe before bed, because that's when your subconscious mind is most open, you're most connected to spirit, right? So this is where you take a pad and a pen and spend, Bob suggests, take like 15 minutes, put on some high vibe music and just ask that subconscious part of yourself, what do I really love to do? If I could spend my life doing what I love, what would that be? And I think after meeting with many, I've met with so many people around the world. Oftentimes we're drawn to an area where we've experienced some hurt or had some help. right? Like I think Sherry of you, the neonatal with the babies and the moms, right? We're usually drawn into something because we've had an experience in that and we want to help make other people's lives better in that area, right? So that's again where the purpose in living is giving. So, um, you want to find, not, well, depends where you live, but maybe like find a favorite spot or a good tree. I say that because I'm up at the ski hill and it's snowing. I don't know if I'd want to sit under a tree for 15 minutes, but find a spot that you love, and maybe it is a tree. Bob always talks about find a tree. Maybe that's like Buddha. Buddha got enlightened underneath the tree. And you want to get up at least an hour earlier and just spend some time on this. Go to that favorite spot, have your pad of paper, have your pen, and you might make a commitment that you're going to do this for 3 months, every single day, because it is through what we're doing every day. Like it's through that repetition. And again, most importantly, you're going to have to be aware of what's getting in the way. And it is going to be the paradigm. It's going to be the paradigm tripping you up. And you're going to have to, when you start moving towards your purpose, it's it's going to maybe seem completely illogic. Um, I love it, Dallas. I saw your post on Facebook, and then I sent Dallas a private message because I love Dallas has a dream to make. Dallas, are you okay if I share? I don't know if you can hear, but I love it because I was just thinking of you.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay, good. So Dallas has a bigger goal or dream to make care for children so that it's available so that like for especially low income families so that their parents can go to work. And she has a dream to create like almost like a foundation or an opportunity so that children have care and really great care. And I was thinking, what a great idea. My mom would have definitely loved this idea, and that's what Dallas is moving towards. Now, the paradigm's going to try to get in the way, of course, because it's going to say, well, how can you do that? How can you have daycares operating around the world, offering free daycare for these children? You're going to have to do the illogic, and you're going to have to start thinking from the higher side of your nature. Most importantly, you're going to have to strengthen your imagination because we have higher mental faculties. And if you're not thinking from the higher side of your nature, the lower mental faculties are going to take you out. So, and this is where you got to be all in. When you have a purpose, you got to be all in. You just got to start moving towards it. You won't know how. We talk about this lots, and in self-development, they always say the how is going to trip you up. It's the why. Like that's a bigger why. It's part of your purpose. And you got to be willing to die for it. Is this what you want so bad? I never understood that saying. You got to be willing to die for it. It has to come from deep, deep within. This is where you bring more of you to the table. This is where you're expressing who you really are and bringing more of that to the world. And by the way, there's no better time than right now to really connect to your purpose on this planet. Is there a lot of people suffering on this planet right now? That could even be you. So there's no better time than to think of those great inventions, write better books, better business opportunities to help more people. So if you can dream it, it's just there on the other side waiting for you to become a vibrational match. Everything that shows up in your environment right now is just a vibrational match for what's going on inside. So if you're going to move towards what you want, you're going to have to do some of that internal. And it was Van Gogh, right? He was asked, how did he create his most beautiful works of art? He said he would dream them first. He would dream his paintings, paint his dream. So you're not going to know how, and that's okay. Um, I love because Bob always shares when he was quite a bit younger. I mean, he's 87. He was sharing how have he wanted to have a studio set up that would operate around the world where he could help people do some of that internal work, where he could share some of this material. He said he had no idea how. How would he operate something that operated around the world and people could just tune in? He created a studio. So the studio Bob sits in every day was created in his imagination. I don't know, like 40 years ago or 50 years ago. So, what do you really want? What are you good at? And we're going to spend some time in quiet today exploring this. Now, when you discover your purpose, Bob always says you will never work another day in your life because you'll just love so much what you're doing that you just feel amazing. Like that's where you just jump out of bed. You're just so on purpose. So, um, my job is my purpose. And Bob would say, if you're doing whatever you're doing and you're not feeling good and you're feeling like you're stuck or there's a lot of struggle, then you're going in the wrong direction. So when you look at what you're doing and whatever that is in your day to day, in your relationships, in your work, if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling stuck, if your health is suffering, you're going in the wrong direction because you're not on purpose. And many of us have been programmed to do that. I used to work at the hospital. Thought I won the lottery when I started working for the union. And I am so glad I quit my job. I actually quit my job twice at the hospital um, because it wasn't my purpose. I didn't feel good actually going. There was more time spent on the union than the care for clients. That was really bothering me at quite a young age. And I mean, yes, there's a lot of good people doing good stuff, but for me, it just didn't feel like the right fit for where I needed to be. My original training is physical therapy. So if I never see another hip again, I am completely happy because I did a lot of hip replacements and knee replacements and stuff like that at the hospital on surgical and medical. So, we are all of us have a purpose. We're important and we're all hardwired to do something. So I want you to spend a little bit of time right now, and I want you to write the word purpose on your sheet of paper. And remember, your purpose is why you are here. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. Purpose is something that other people are going to benefit from long after even you're gone. So that's like where you hear legacy. So I want you to start writing down on that sheet of paper all of the things that you love to do or that you're good at, or that maybe even you've noticed other people have complimented and said, hey, this is what you're really great at. And I'm going to put some music on, and I want you to spend a couple minutes just writing. And if you need to, just even close your eyes and ask that subconscious part of yourself, spirit, God, whatever, and just ask, what is my purpose? What am I really good at? What do I love to do? You can always shut off your camera if it makes you feel awkward that I'm here on the other side. What are your superpowers? What makes you feel really good? What makes you feel happy? You have this one wild and precious life. You matter. You are important. You have come here to do some really incredible work. What is it that you desire? Maybe it's how you'd like to leave this planet. Is there an idea, an invention? Maybe it's for your family or your community and the planet. And just write. There's no wrong or right answer. The writing brings order to your thoughts. Just write anything that comes to mind. What do you love to do? Why are you here? Again, ask Spirit, why am I here? What is my purpose on this planet at this time? What brings great joy to you? Make sure you're smiling. That has a calming effect on your nervous system, by the way. The habit of smiling. You have this precious life. You have purpose. You matter. Make sure it's connected to your heart. And it's the feeling that's the secret. It should feel good, really good. And try not to overthink it. Allow it to just come to you naturally. Maybe even go back in your little life. What were some of the things that you loved to do? Again, if you had all the time and money, and fear was not getting in the way, what would you love to do? What would you love to create? Okay, now I want you to all put your pens down. You can continue doing this exercise because remember, I want you to do this every day. And I would suggest that you make a commitment of doing this for 3 months, every single day. Setting aside 15 minutes with your pad of paper and pen, maybe sitting under your favorite tree, your favorite chair, putting on some of your favorite music and asking for guidance. I want you to close your eyes. You've written down some thoughts, and I want you to drop into your imagination. Now, imagination is a higher mental faculty, and we think in picture. So I want you to see yourself in your imagination as living your purpose, even if it's not quite clear yet. How would you look and feel differently in this space? What kind of habits would you have? Who would you be spending time with? What would you be doing? And I want you to imagine as if you are on purpose. You are living your greatest dreams and desires. And I want you to live from what Neville Goddard calls as the wish fulfilled. This is your life. You are on purpose. It makes you get out of bed in the morning and you have so much energy. You love what you are doing. You are on purpose. And how is this impacting the people around you? Because you are on purpose. Maybe you can provide for the people around you a better life, more opportunities. Opportunities to show up in your community and on this planet on purpose. And really connect to the feeling, the joy, the excitement, all the opportunities. Okay, now I want you just to call in response. Everybody's on mute. And just say this or something better. So this or something better now manifests for me in the most magic and miraculous ways. And then I'm going to get you to slowly open your eyes. I'll get you to open up your video camera again so everyone's here. I get it when we're in meditation, maybe we don't want everyone looking at us or me looking at you. So is there anyone who would like to have a share? And if you look at the bottom where the more and reactions are, you can put up your hand. Is there anyone who would like to share what came up for you? Because I could see the emotion on all of your face. You know, some of you connected and you could get tears. By the way, when you get to that space, you're going in the right direction, right? Anyone experience that, right? Did you experience that? I could see you. So, well, some of you had your screens closed. So is there anyone who would like to share what came up for you? Don't be shy. Darlene. Thank you, Darlene.
Oh, I was thinking even combining more than one. The last one I ended up writing down, to travel, adventures, experiences, culture, people, going where people normally don't travel. And the other one is photography, taking photos of all these experiences and culture and people and creating a book, perhaps. That's everything.
Oh, I love it. And Darlene, I've seen all your fun photos that you've posted. So you have such a great imagination. I love it. And how did you feel, Darlene, when you were thinking about these travels and taking these photos? Like, what were the feelings that came up for you?
Excitement. I've actually thought of this before, not even thinking that maybe that's my purpose in life.
So it's the feeling, right? The feeling's the secret. When you feel really good, you're going in the right direction. When you're not feeling so good, you're probably going in the wrong direction. Unfortunately, most of us have been programmed to stay in situations where we don't feel good. So we got to get out of that and start focusing on the feeling of feeling good and moving forward with purpose. Anybody else like to share? One more, Loretta.
From the time I was actually in elementary school, I wanted to write books, and I would really like to write books for kids. And so I was just imagining that and imagining what it would be like to go to my grandson's school and, you know, be somebody who came to read her books to the kids. And I want them to mean something and have a purpose, like teaching these kinds of ideals to children in a way that would be fun and not, you know, preachy or anything, but just fun, and they'd get the idea. And it just, so I envisioned myself in the library reading the book, and my grandson saying, my grandma wrote this book, or my Nana wrote this book. So it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah. So so what was that feeling for you?
Just joy, like being able to do something and help kids especially develop better habits in their lives than, you know, we had a chance to when we were that age. And just the joy of sharing. I love writing, so just the joy of sharing fun stories with kids, but ones that have a purpose. It just made me feel like I was sitting there going, I am so grateful for this opportunity to be here doing this.
So tears of joy. So that is like, those are indicators. So some of you, I could see a few of you tearing up. That's an indicator you're going in the right direction. Now, I'd love to see both you ladies moving forward and doing that, right? But again, what's going to get in the way? It's the how that's going to trip you up. Well, how am I going to do this? All sorts of little things are going to come up. So you got to write that out and you got to get rid of it fast. Because you are spirit. Spirit is here for fuller expansion and expression. You can do, be, and have anything you want. It's just that we were programmed in our little life. Many of us even went into work and started focusing on things that we didn't even necessarily like. But we did it because maybe a parent said that we were good at that, or we should do that, or somebody else. So you want to be focused on what you want to do. It has to come from inside. It has to be on purpose. And I wanted to talk a little bit about vision and goals, because there's a difference. Like, purpose is what gets you out of bed in the morning. You're on purpose. I mean, everyone always asks me, how can I do so much stuff? How are you getting up at 4 or 5? I'm on purpose. I love being here. I love showing up for people and just being, I always say I'm a conduit. I'm a conduit of God. I'm a conduit of love. So I'm on purpose. So I have no problem getting out of bed in the morning. So that's on purpose. Your vision is like a long range like view of things, right? So the vision is how you're going to execute it. It's like a vision. It's like long range. So this is the vision of your purpose. And it's the ideas. It's all of the ideas that you need to act upon that will help you reach your purpose. So that's your vision. So you start writing down, well, what is that long range view? What are all those ideas that are going to like help me get to my purpose? And the goal, well, the goal is taking a bite out of the purpose. So they're very different. And we do start with a goal. I think that, you know, being connected to a purpose and then having a goal, it's like, and of course, you want to have big goals. You want to have big goals and big dreams that are going to move you towards that purpose. It's like Bob, many years ago, he had no idea how he would impact the planet, but he just had a bigger desire to show up and impact the planet and to be able from his space to go live and share. Remember at that time, there wasn't such a thing as like Facebook or, you know, the internet as we know it. I don't even think there was the internet. There probably wasn't. I mean, Bob's 87. So he had no idea. So I'm sharing this with you because it's all those ideas. It's going to trip you up. It's all those negative thoughts, those patterns that are going to be like, well, it's never been done before. How do I do this? So you have to just, again, being on purpose and just having those goals. And again, they're going to be really big. Maybe like thinking of you, Loretta, maybe that big goal right now is getting that book published, right? Writing a book, just writing a book. That might be a big C-type goal right now because we talk about A, B, and C-type goals and thinking into results. You've never done it. You don't know how to do it. There's that, the whole how is there. But it's the why, the bigger purpose, that you're going to leave this legacy of all these wonderful books for children to really get them thinking and creating better habits. Can you all feel that? Like I'm trying to also romance the purpose here, but see that there's a goal. So you have to start moving towards a goal. And the vision is the long range view of how you're going to make that happen. Bob would say, focus all your energy on the purpose that gets you up and then have those goals. And that's like, when you think of the vision, it's kind of like the map. It's like, okay, this is my map. So you want to take a look at your life right now because we want to live on purpose. So you want to take a look at your life right now and where are you wasting time and not on purpose? Remember I said, like Bob, I just jumped off the call with Bob, and Bob really believes that networking is an incredible way to, it's people helping people, but he realized that he was kind of doing a lot of networking that was taking him off purpose. It had nothing to do with helping people the way he needed to help people. So he was wasting time. He says he does not waste time anymore. So when you look at your purpose, where is there areas that you're wasting time or putting in a lot of your time and it's not going to move you towards your purpose? You want to stop wasting time. Now, the paradigm, it loves wasting time. Guess why? Because it doesn't want you to be on purpose. It's the program. It's that genetic and environmental program. By the way, we know it goes back many generations. That's where all the hurt, all the failures, all the crap, that's victim consciousness. So you got to do your work. I love the story out of Think and Grow Rich. I want to share it because it's always so powerful. When you're on purpose, right, you don't know how. And this is the story of the great warrior. I want to share it with you because it's always one of my favorite stories. It says, a long while ago, a great warrior faced a situation which made it necessary for him to make a decision, which ensured his success on the battlefield. He was about to send his armies against a powerful foe whose men outnumbered his own. He loaded his soldiers into boats, sailed to the enemy's country, unloaded the soldiers and equipment, and then gave the order, burn the ships. That's like where you got to stop wasting time and looking for that, a way out, one foot out the door. Well, if this doesn't work, I got one foot out the door here, right? Addressing his men before the first battle, he said, you see the boats going up in smoke? That means that we cannot leave these shores alive unless we win. We now have no choice. We win or we perish. They won. That is that burning desire that you have to have towards your purpose. That's why there's that saying that you got to be willing to die for it. This is a warrior. He had such a bigger purpose. He was willing to die for it. And they won. You can't have one foot out the door. You have to keep moving forward with purpose. Now, I love Bob. Bob, and you're going to want to write this down. You're going to want to write out what your purpose is, right? You might want to write it out from the I am so happy and grateful. Why? Well, that raises your vibe. You can't be upset or in victim consciousness when you're happy and grateful. Okay. Thought energy, perpetual transmutation, right? The law. It's all by law, that thought energy. So listen, here's Bob's. My purpose is to live and work in an environment that encourages productivity and pleasure so that I might provide more service to my family, my clients, my company, my community, my nation, and ultimately the world. I want to improve the services I render to my family again, to my clients, to my community, to my nation. And to do this, I want to live and work in a prosperous environment. So that's Bob's purpose. I love it because it's so powerful. You see how it's so clear, because when you have a purpose, you want to get really crystal clear on what that looks like, and you want to write it down. And you're going to have to put all of the things that are going to get in the way: time, money, energy. You're going to have to put that aside because that's just the paradigm tripping you up. And if you understand, by the way, the law of compensation and growth, you're always rewarded for whatever you do. So when you're on purpose, and again, we know that purpose is around service. It's usually around service to others in the end. You're always going to be rewarded for what you do. You don't know when, and you're not attached to it. But if you put a lot of good out there, what do you think comes back? A lot of good back. So you want to be on purpose, and you want to spend a little bit of time every day just dropping into this. And I like when I spend time all the time asking for direction from spirit. I just ask. I just say, and you have to ask. By the way, this is like the laws of manifesting. You have to ask, believe, and receive. You can't expect somebody to, if you're baking and you're out of sugar, you can't expect your neighbor to bring you sugar and you haven't asked for sugar. So you've got to ask. You've got to ask spirit. You've got to ask those laws that govern you. God, Allah, Krishna, whatever you believe in, you have to ask. I mean, everyone has different beliefs and we respect those beliefs, but you have to ask. How would you love to spend every day? And if you were spending every day on purpose, what would have to change right now in your life? You might want to write that question and then spend some time answering it. So how would I like to spend my life every day? Every day being on purpose, all day on purpose. What would have to change? And how would that feel? Earl Nightingale, he says, discover what you do and spend your life doing it. When you discover your purpose, this is when your life begins. Again, you're not wasting time anymore. You have a precious human life, and you all know time waits for no one. We don't know when our time is up. Are you living on purpose? What do you love to do? How would you start spending your days differently? And remember that without purpose, you're like a boat without a rudder. And you know that space. I mean, I know that space. When you're a boat without a rudder, you just are frustrated. You don't feel good. So you want to be on purpose. Now I have a couple people I've been thinking a lot about purpose, people I look up to, and I was thinking about Oprah. And Oprah had a desire to become like someone, like a personality on TV. She was a Black woman who had a lot of trauma, history of trauma. She was told that she would never amount to anything, that she was stupid, that she should never be on TV. And she did it. She became a news anchor. However, when she was a news anchor, she realized that she felt exhausted. She didn't feel very good. She felt like her energies were drained. Remember, I said you have to discover your purpose. There's that vision. So she went into become a news anchor, and then she decided to kind of shift that. She knew it was to help a lot of people, and she wanted to be on TV. And then she started her own show. She said she knew she was on purpose because she felt amazing. She actually was energized. I share that story with you because this is where we discover our purpose, right? With the vision and the goal. So you might have to course correct. That's okay. But when you're on purpose, you're going to feel really great. It's going to give you energy. You know, I always wondered, studying with Tony, like how Tony Robbins could be on stage for 2 hours sometimes, like, bah, 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 bah. Like, I'm serious. The guy is a force. Like, he's a force for good. Guess what? He's on purpose, but he discovered that purpose, and he course corrected every so often. But he loves what he does. It energizes him. And because of that, he's able to help a lot of people. Is he compensated? 100%. Tony owns like 15 different businesses. But instead of feeling depleted, he's energized because he's on purpose to make a greater change on this planet. Two areas that his purpose is really big is ending hunger, and on underground child, all the horrible things that are happening to children. Tony's really, that's a big part of his purpose. Okay. And of course, there's something there that's probably pulling you. So you want to be on purpose. Robin Sharma, I also admire him, and his dad, every day when he was a young child, made him read this quote, him and his brothers. Listen to this quote. You're going to like it, because Robin Sharma is on purpose. It's another great person that I've spent some time with. Spring has passed and summer has gone. Winter is here, and that song that I meant to sing is still unsung. I have spent my days stringing and unstringing my instrument. Don't die with your music inside of you. That's such a powerful quote. His dad made him read that every day when he was a little boy. He didn't understand it at first. You do not want to die with the music inside of you. Time waits for no one. You want to be on purpose. You matter. Each and every person matters. You matter. Now I want to give you a couple points. I'm just going to go through this really quick. So you're going to want to write these down. I want you to spend time going inward. Make that commitment that every day you're going to spend some time asking for guidance, going inward, turning on some high vibe music, and just asking, what do I love to do? How can I be happy? How can I make a bigger impact on this planet or in my family? Start asking yourself better questions. I want you to spend some time being grateful. Really focus on what you have right now. That's going to help you move towards your purpose. You've got to be grateful for what you have. Third, you got to take ownership of your life and results. Not just 50% ownership, but 100% ownership. And don't let fear and anxiety drive you. Take ownership. When we take ownership, then we are choosing no longer to be a victim of the past, of the hurts, of the failures. We take 100% ownership. So we want to stop playing the victim. Bob has said this many times now. He says the real pandemic on this planet is not the virus. It's not the Black movement. It's not the gay movement. It is victim consciousness. 97% of people on this planet are not doing very well. They're stuck in victim consciousness. You get to choose. So your life and decisions, this is your life. These are your decisions you make, nobody else. Because when you're on purpose, you know this. I want you to think about what brings you joy, because the magic happens in that place of joy and ease. Where are you cutting yourself off from that joy, from that ease? Again, maybe it's time wasting. Maybe there's people in your life that are not moving you towards your purpose. Maybe you need to reach out to me because you got a paradigm that's really strong and it's holding you back. But what brings you more joy? Start doing what brings you more joy. What do you love to do? You have to develop a really clear self-image and life script. Now, remember, writing brings order. So I would spend some time writing. So what does that look like? Like, how would you look and feel differently living your life on purpose? Write that out. That's a self-image. I am so happy and grateful. Now that I am confident and strong, I am on purpose. So you're going to want to write that clear self-image and life script, so that you are on purpose. What does that look like? Really put your life in writing. Like Tony gives us an exercise that I love, and we do this with Bob, but we just do it in a bit different way. But just to write, like, what would the perfect day in me look like? Right? If you're on purpose, what does that perfect day look like? Maybe you wake up energized and you jump out of bed because you're on purpose. Maybe that's how you start it. I'm just giving suggestions here. Writing helps to really organize your thoughts. So this is the suggestion. I'm giving you a lot of information here. So write notes, and there is this recording. I'm going to send it off to all of you as well, because there's a lot of information that I wanted to include here. It is an absolute must that you increase your awareness and your higher mental faculties. And we increase our awareness by what we do every day. That's why thinking into results, studying this material is so important. And your higher mental faculties. You're going to have a real challenging time moving towards your dreams and your purpose if your imagination is weak or if your will is weak. So you got to be in charge of your mind. Most people on this planet, their mind is in charge of them. So you got to make that decision. And then, take time for yourself. Self-care, quieten the mind. Accept your limitations, but don't let your limitations dictate your results. Because you can strengthen those areas where there's weaknesses. Loretta, I'd never wrote a book before. I didn't even know how the heck to write a book. And actually, when I was a kid in school, I didn't focus a lot on school because there was too much stress at home. So I was really I just didn't even feel good about my grammar. And by the way, you can write a book now just by recording it in a voice recorder, and then you can send it off to someone who writes it for you. So you want to start thinking of other ways. However, I did write my own book, and I did my chapter in both books in less than an hour. Became bestseller in 9 countries, right? International bestselling. I would have never known. I had no idea how to do that. I had a purpose. Again, there's a vision and the goals. That was my goal. The goal was to write the book, right? Take a chunk out, and that's what you do. And then last is you got to find people. You got to have a community of people supporting you on purpose, moving you towards your purpose. You want to surround yourself around high vibration people that are going to support your purpose, your dreams, your desires. Okay, so top of the hour, I gave you a lot of really great information. Who here is committed to spending time every day, just that quiet time, asking for guidance around their purpose? So maybe show me of hands. Who is committed? And you have purpose. And you know what? There's no coincidence. You're even on this call with me. There's Dallas. I see all of you there. There's no coincidence that you're on this call with me. You're meant to be here. You have purpose. You need to bring more of you to this world, more of you. So I'm here. I'm so grateful that you've all been here as well. And if you have any questions, or if you have any comments that you want to share with me, please, you can always reach out. Is there anyone that has anything that you want to ask right now before we jump off? Yeah, Darlene. Darlene, I had an intuitive feeling you were going to ask a question.
So does purpose ever change or modify itself throughout the years?
So I think the vision changes, like Oprah, right? She knew she wanted to help a lot of people. I mean, Oprah had experienced a lot of suffering and pain in her life, like a lot of people on this planet. So she wanted to help ease suffering. She wanted to help bring awareness. And so I think like what Bob would say is that our purpose doesn't change. Like it's always that bigger purpose, but we might change what that's going to look like the vision of it and how that looks as we move forward. But the purpose, and I think this is how like even Tony Robbins built his whole platform, is that the purpose in living is giving. I mean, I think the deeper we go into our purpose, it's to help create a better life for yourself and for the people around you in your community and this planet. I was listening, and it's such a good question, Darlene. I hope that answers it. I was listening to the Dalai Lama on purpose. And of course, I've spent a lot of time in Buddhist teachings. And the Dalai Lama, when asked, what is your purpose? He said, your purpose is to live joyful, to be happy. So when we're not on purpose, we don't usually feel good. We don't feel happy and joyful. So I would suggest, take an inventory of your life and all the moving parts. Look at your vocation, look at your health, look at your relationships, look at all the different areas. Where are you not experiencing joy? Where do you not feel good? I love how the Dalai Lama said that. Your purpose is to live joyful. Everybody should be joyful. And you know that his purpose is to spread peace. To spread peace. So, and by the way, there is no difference between you. If you're wondering what your purpose is too, one thing that I've talked about quite a bit in Thinking into Results, look at your heroes. Look at those people that you really look up to. I mean, there's no coincidence I teach and mentor with Bob. So look at who do you look up to? Some of my other heroes are like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King. You're drawn to those people because they created incredible change. They were on purpose. That's why you're drawn to them. So what are their attributes? What was their purpose? So you can start to look, you can just start to explore that a little bit too. There's no difference, by the way, between Oprah Winfrey, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Steve Jobs, whoever you look up to. There's no difference between that person and you. The only difference is that they had a burning desire. They burnt their ships and they won. They just kept moving forward on purpose. Bob, and just being on a call with Bob, just before I jumped on this call, Bob would say that he is still discovering his purpose. He's just excited. He's like, I've just gotten started. He's on purpose though. He's always on purpose. So I hope that answers your question. Any other questions before we hop off here? I'm open to anything. Just looking, I'm moving the screen around so I can see all you. No? Okay, well, if you do have any questions, and many people are going to get this recording because many people reached out for the recording because the time didn't work. This recording is for you. Make it a great day, and please, please live on purpose. You have so much. You have so much talent and abilities. You have so much within you that needs to be expressed, and this planet needs you. This planet needs leaders, real leaders. The leader you're looking for is you. So live on purpose. So bye, everybody. Make it a great day.
Thank you, Tara. Have a great day.
Bye,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.